Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining this week are Josh Widdicombe, Zoe Lyons and Nish Kumar, Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So what's going on here?
Is it the only couple that Ed Balls would beat on Strictly?
He's saying, please join me, Owen, on my cabinet. I'm so lonely.
I imagine Jeremy Corbyn's just going, I did warn you, Owen. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
It's Corbyn saying, when I get home, I'm going to make a lovely red Thai curry.
I don't think he's saying anything. I think he's just looking at him going, ah.
He's asking him, will you book my train tickets for me? I think I'm on a blacklist.
Channel 4 have decided things couldn't get any worse, and they've booked these two to present Bake Off.
Corbyn saying, stay calm, no need to explode, as I said to the Hezbollah.
No, he's saying to him, I'd give that a few minutes if I was you. I've just had another good purge.
And you know what it actually is?
Well, I think we all know what it actually is.
Of course.
Jeremy Corbyn commiserating, sort of, with Owen Smith. I think it's Jeremy Corbyn wins the Labour leadership.
It is, of course. Thank you very much, Hugh. Very good. Yes, it's a picture of the leader of the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn, and his defeated opponent in the leadership election, Owen Smith. At the Labour Party conference this week, Corbyn was unveiled as leader after being re-elected with nearly 62% of the vote. So he won it very easily, and he did very well, but at the same time, that may not translate into anything in terms of winning a general election.
No. I mean, it's not going to translate into having a cabinet either, is it? A shadow cabinet. He's going to have to do a shadow cabinet like, you know, Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone with the shadows. It's going to be a literal shadow cabinet.
What is that? Mannequin for defence?
You've got to admire the Labour Party's ability to see the Conservatives in chaos and respond like this. You call that political disarray? Sit down, let the professionals say we'll see your chaos and raise your botched coup that involves our deputy leader having to be called home early from Glastonbury.
He's incredible in that he can gather so many people together in a rally, and they sort of see him as a messiah in the same way he will probably be crucified in the next election.
It's some statistic like that the largest political party in Europe or something at the moment, the largest amount of members. I mean, he rode in on a huge wave of success. It should translate across, and yet, I don't see any attack on him. It feels like winning the technical challenge in Bake Off, you know, where you make some
stop angling for the job.
Just saying this.
Can I interject here? Has anybody on this stage won the technical challenge in Bake Off? Yes. Yes. What do you have to make? Lemon meringue pie, bitches!
Okay, right. Two things. Firstly, you were doing great on I won the technical challenge on Bake Off until you said the words a lemon meringue pie. And you know, that's just a cake. That's not a technical challenge in some 17th century.
Lemon meringue pie is not an easy technical bake. In fact, Paul Hollywood even said, he looked at myself, I bet I'm going to cut right into that, and all the meringue's going to just pour out of it. Did it? Did it? Bugger it!
Okay, well, you killed my metaphor, which I was going to do the really nice thing.
I didn't mean to kill your metaphor. I just meant to point out that I am more qualified to wield it than you are, that's all.
Tell us about your
This
show.
is actually turning into the Labour Party conference.
Tell us about your showstopper. How did that go? How did your showstopper go?
Didn't go well.
Didn't go well, did it?
Carrot cake, and it was raw in the middle.
And then you just threw icing at it like you were trying to smother it.
You're slagging, but I like the fact that you watched.
What did Corbyn say about the MPs who would
Well, he said he'd wipe the slate clean, probably with their own faces, but he will have them back. There'll be no hard feelings.
He said most will not get deselected, which is not the most reassuring way of putting it. It's like if a doctor says, we can save most of you, the feeling that this hasn't gone well somehow, and I'm down a limb or two at the end of this particular interaction.
You can't trust the Labour Party anyway. At the beginning of conference, they always sing the song, "We'll keep the red flag flying." But if they get into power, that means no one can go swimming.
Is it 600,000 followers?
I think they're followers, aren't they? Necessarily. That's Christ you're thinking of.
Also, I think he's got a
12.
Did you see the book of poetry?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Always lovely. It's very, very lovely. Yes, Labour supporters released a book of poems for Jeremy Corbyn that Michael Deegan from the Telegraph tweeted about.
Corbyn's not even a good word to rhyme with, unless most of the poems about daubing. Or get my J-Class do some absorbing. Hey, it's options, really. If it was Jeremy Hunt, we'd all have a big laugh and it'd be fun. Let's deal with that now and move on.
The Corbyn sounds like... So you've got the green bin for glass, haven't you? You've got the black bin for plastic. You've got the Corbyn for recycled old ideas from the 1970s.
Typical BBC.
Yeah.
Moving on, what criticisms has Theresa May faced this week?
Which is having to change her name depending on which month we're...
She's a submarine.
That's why she's submarine?
That was her nickname, apparently, the sort of unkind nickname they gave her, because she sort of has a tendency to sort of disappear under the water when difficult issues come up.
It's sort of a kind of a cool nickname as well, though. It's kind of like, they chose a nickname for me. It's really like the nickname you'd pick for yourself. They got me the submarine. Ping! And it's disappearing on the table.
The joke about submarines is never that they disappear all the time. It's that they're full of semen, isn't it? It's such a weird... What?
Don't broadcast, please. We all saw that one and didn't go for it. And he, the classiest one among us, went for that joke, all right? I appeal to your better... Man in the editing suite, I appeal to your better angel.
Submarines don't disappear, do they? That's not what you associate with
don't.
submarines,
Well,
is
they
it?
don't. Yeah, they pop up eventually. You know where they are, right? That's the point of a yes. And they're heavily armed, and they pop up unexpectedly. If it was the case that they were having meetings, and then unexpectedly she's like, "Hello," from underneath the desk. "Hello, I'm doing that." Run silent, run deep, and then she goes back under the desk again.
Also, nicknames don't always have to be accurate. When I was at school, my nickname was NK47, and my first email address was thechocolateBombshell@hotmail.com. So, still active.
You are such a loser. Hotmail. All right, Mr. Ask Jeeves.
Why is Sam Allardyce England's greatest manager?
He managed England for one match, and he won it. So he's the only England manager who's ever had a 100% record.
100% win record. He'll be fondly remembered. Yes, as we all know, Sam Allardyce departed his job after 100% record on Tuesday, leaving the FA with mutual consent after an event. What was the event?
Has he gone to the event dressed as you, Dora?
That's not meant in a nice way.
On the one hand, I feel that's very unfair to pick on somebody for having a dark jacket and a white shirt, but the shit I got last time for having a waistcoat, have at him.
This photo of Allardyce was taken by the Telegraph's undercover journalists.
Could you not have gotten a better photograph of him? That one's very grainy.
That is him at the table.
He's got a pint of wine.
Everyone loves the idea that he went, yeah, I'll have a pint of... just a pint of wine. Not too much, because I don't want to speak out of turn, and perhaps for these words to be used against me at some later stage. But all I ask is that you bring me to a restaurant where I can drink a pint of wine and eat the largest Malteser in the world. Just leave it slightly out of reach during the meal. But I want a Malteser as big as my head. And I'm going to finish the meal with that.
England now need a manager that's going to stay, don't they? Because we've been through a few, haven't we, over the years? We need somebody with staying power and who's popular. So it is time for Jeremy Corbyn to become the England manager, don't you think? Bring the game back to its
Let the members vote. That's the Corbyn way.
11 left-wingers, the world's worst formation.
At the end of that round, the point's going to end. You're melted! Now we play a round called There's a Labour Party in My Pants, and everyone's invited. This game involves Nish and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. Okay, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the first topic is health. Who's going to ask? Nish.
I had a bit of a health emergency last year. I was doing the washing up and I cut my hand. I was washing up and I pushed my hand into a glass. The glass shattered and it slashed my hand here, and I had to go to hospital. And let me tell you this, the NHS staff are incredible. They were really nice to me. They were really sweet. One of them called me a brave boy, which is good because I was being one, so I don't know what you're laughing at, okay? I'm the one with the badge. Anyway, before I did that, I did something which I probably regret doing. I called NHS 111. Now, if you don't know what this service is, it's a service the government has brought in to replace NHS Direct. So if you have a non-life-threatening emergency, you're supposed to dial 111 on your phones. Now, I'm sure that these people are very nice, but based on my experience, they have proportionately less skill than their numerical value compared to 999, because it was the blind leading the blind. At one point, she said, "How is the blood?" And I said, "Red," because I had no idea. Then she said, "Is there a lot of blood?" I said, "Yes," because there was a lot of blood. And she said, "Is there enough to fill a mug?" I've got no idea. I don't wish to brag. I have a lot of different mug sizes in my house. Also, while this was happening, I was just panicking. I wasn't decanting the blood in that it could be poured back into my body at a later day. Then she said, "Is the blood flowing or oozing?" I said, "I have no idea what the difference is between those two things is." And she said, "Oh, there's a difference." I was like, "I'm not getting into a semantic debate with you while blood is gushing out of my hand." And she just went, "Gushing, thank you very much."
Well done, Nish, come on. Okay, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. And the topic is transport.
When I was at school, my bike was smashed up. It was my own fault, really. I just handed out leaflets saying, "Bullying, let's break the cycle." "We've been over this again and again and again," said my driving instructor, pointing to the badger. Apparently there is actually a road in the north of England called Quality Street. And there's only one person living in it, and he's both Turkish and delightful. Tricky, isn't it, if you're both a moth and a sea captain? In charge of a ship. But up ahead, you see a lighthouse. You know you shouldn't. Toilets in trains are rubbish, aren't they? Especially the one right at the front, and the bloke in there gets so cross. The boys go, Nish, come on, mate.
Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Nish, which category would you like?
World news, please.
Okay, world news it is. The answer is 40 days. What is the question?
Is it the number of consecutive days my mother has texted me saying, "Have you had a haircut?"
How long is it to the next Labour leadership election?
Is it how old was my pet ant when he had his midlife crisis?
Is it how long did it take Joe Essex to read The Hungry Caterpillar?
Is it how long does it take to go she loves me not, round the whole of the Chelsea Flower Show?
Is it, once he's elected, how many days will there be in Trump-tember?
This month, it's a beautiful month. It's a really great month. It's a great month. Great one. Best month you've seen. It's going to be such a beautiful month. It's going to be great.
Is it how long was I in a hotel room when I put the "Do Not Disturb" sign on the wrong side of the door?
Is it how long would Jeremy Hunt have to wait for in A&E before being seen?
Is it if I have a pickled onion Monster Munch, how long will it be in my burps?
And you know what the actual answer is, please?
Is it when they hacked Hillary's emails, how long did they spend just wading through Bill Clinton's porn stash?
Is it how many days until the American election?
It is absolutely right. Thank you very much. Nish, come on.
That's it, nerd.
Yes, the question I was looking for is how long until the US presidential election? In a bitter campaign, the two most disliked candidates in 30 years are vying to become the 45th president of the United States. And this week was the first presidential debate. Did any of you see it? See much of it?
Not many people watch it here, but it gets massive figures in America, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, because in America, God, they don't put it on at 2 o'clock in the morning. See, that's the genius.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's the old American can-do spirit, you know? They're clever about this stuff, the Americans.
They've got 100 million views.
Yeah, 100 million.
And Channel 4 have bought the format because they're so excited about it.
It was a weird atmosphere because it looked like Hillary Clinton was sort of trying to invoke the great presidential debates like Kennedy versus Nixon and Reagan versus Carter, whereas Donald Trump sort of reminded me of Batman versus Superman in that he was loud, incoherent, and managed to be disappointing despite expectations being unbelievably low.
He had a terrible problem with the moderator, though, didn't he? He didn't like the moderator subsequently.
Well, the moderator would say things like, no, that's not true, actually.
He's got a perfect plan for dealing with the moderator, is that the next debate he's going to build a wall between him and the moderator. And the moderator is paying for the wall.
The other mistake that Trump makes is that he's read somewhere that Mexicans make good fighters, but it's actually pronounced fajitas.
Do you know how often he lied? In a 90-minute debate.
Was it 37 times?
34 lies.
34 times. Oh, I'm doing him a terrible disservice.
You are. You make him sound like he's a big liar. He lied 34 times. She lied 4 times.
But she did the first lie, because she came out and said, it's a pleasure to be here.
Trump clearly has no idea about how the political systems in the world work, which is why I won't be voting for him.
In other news, what are the latest developments in the Great British Bake Off saga?
Well, seemingly it's going to be hosted by someone who's not even from Britain, isn't it, Dara?
Why are the crown jewels of this country being handed to immigrants?
I looked to the odds. You're both on it, Ed and Dara. Do you know what I'm betting on? Not even on the list. Can't believe he's not in the mix. Mr. Kipling.
He's been for like 7 years sitting at home with a fag going, to his missus going, I nailed this.
I would do this exceedingly well, I would.
No offence to you, Dara, but I would like Ed to host it because he seems to know a lot about caking, and also I believe it's caking. Yeah.
Actually, among people who know, that is the term.
It sounds like an urban slang word for something that came after dogging or something, didn't it?
Yeah, Tory MP's been caught caking it.
But also,
In a tent as well. Oh.
it'll be reassuring because you look like an exact combination of Mel and Sue.
Apparently, Channel 4 wanted the show because they heard the BBC had made a massive turnover.
I've got beef with Paul Hollywood because when I was voted the second worst dressed man in Britain, Paul Hollywood was voted #1. I met Paul Hollywood and he said, oh, it's unfair us being the top 2, and I felt like going, well, for me it is. You're a mess, mate. Bootcut jeans with your cuffs turned over. Come on, mate, have a word. Do you know what they described my style as? An update on Bilbo Baggins.
What they've done here, though, they seem to, if this is the new show, Mary Berry seems to have been replaced by a double oven. That's not. That's not.
It's like one of those 70 robots from an ad from Mashed Potato, and the door opens. Yeah. What are you doing now, Paul?
What do you think, Berrytron 5000?
There's currently an office somewhere in the BBC where some people are just writing down locations and other words for cakes in a Mary Berry's aircraft hangar of puddings.
They're not allowed to to do it, though, are they?
They're
Isn't
not-
that the
no,
thing
they-
about how they might not be able to do it because it will infringe copyright and all the rest of it?
Phil, how do you pick a
But
copyright?
essentially, it's just a cookery principle, isn't it? They're using the
They just-
leftovers. It's
yeah.
fine.
The BBC have got to do distinctive programming that's not on other channels. But what about the news?
I hear that Channel 4 have a show where 6 people and a host talk about the news and events and try to make it funny.
Same show?
Outrageous.
That's disgraceful. All right, don't blow the gaff.
And they don't have to be saddled with women and minorities.
Careful. We're getting a lot of murmuring from Token Corner over there. Okay, the other round. First with Mitch, Zoe and Josh. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. Okay, here we go. The first subject is unlikely small ads.
Hello, my name's Ads.
For sale, 1 tent. Please contact the BBC.
Genuine single man looking for a relationship. Call this number. If my wife answers, hang up.
Free to good home. Fucking printer.
Phone to hear my talk about how I became obese. 888-8888.
Rubbish collection services. Yep, we are genuinely shit at it.
I saw you on the tube. You were wearing the pink sweater with your hair pulled back. I had my cock and balls out.
Do you want a hard-working plumber for a reasonable rate? Then you shouldn't have voted for Brexit.
Learn English on Owner Home. Good examplings, quick books, disbelievable price. You buy?
Applications are now open for the Donald Trump School of Talking to Women because those bitches are not going to interrupt themselves.
Wanted, the internet, as I seem to be the only person in the whole bloody world still using the small ads.
Have you lost a ginger cat? Check the top of Donald Trump's head.
Phone to hear my talk about my reaction to eating a South African bishop. 000-00822.
Respectful middle-aged lady would like to meet gentlemen for cosy nights in, country walks, theatre visits, and occasional eye-popping anal.
Okay. The next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a TV cookery show.
Hi, I'm Nigella Lawson, and before I bake any cake, I like to chop my flour into lines.
You can see that's rising nicely. It does that every time I think about how much money Channel 4 are going to pay me.
Hello and welcome to Can't Cook, Won't Cook. Today we won't be making anything. Goodbye.
Coming up next on Saturday Kitchen, whatever we want, because we know you're too hungover to change the channel.
This is a hot pot.
This is a fucking hot pot!
So, if you want to bone a chicken, what you need to do, take it on a couple of dates, and then invite it back, put on some romantic music, and let nature take its course.
There is a bit of a problem on this week's food and drink. I've finished all of it.
This is a Thai chicken curry, or as I like to call it, hot Asian cock.
OK, Sam, let's see what you've brought in your bag of ingredients. It is a pint of wine and a large Malteser.
Right, welcome to Southern Cooking for Northerners. First up, quinoa. What is it and why it can fuck off?
Well, if you're going to pop it in, don't forget to cover it first. I didn't, and that's why I'm making paternity payments.
Hello, I'm Greg Wallace, and this series of MasterChef, we won't be using plates. We'll just be eating off my shiny, shiny head.
Hello, it's Nigella Lawson here again. I'm just going to say the word spatchcock for no reason. Spatchcock.
Anyone can make this. You can't, Beatrice. Sorry, you can't beat rice.
Let's just all go home. Yeah, let's just go home.
Welcome. Welcome to Great Indian Bake Off. I'm Paul Bollywood.
Hello, I'm Jamie Oliver. Welcome to my new show. Stick a bit of fucking sugar in it.
Okay. At the end of the round, Portugal and Nish, Zoe and Josh. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Josh Widdicombe, Zoe Lyons and Nish Kumar. Commiserations to Ed Byrne, Hugh Des and Milton Jones. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.